Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently working on getting our connections built up here, and we're making very good progress on that. So that is all good. We have a democratic ruler election. That can go away for the moment. We don't actually care who becomes our ruler, so that is fine. Do we have any jobs that need to be done? The answer is no. The Salty Squid is currently heading into Kifatar, and it is not queued up to construct up over here. We will definitely need that to happen. Ooh, Hifnar pops.
Spaceborne life form encountered.
Okay, we will preserve the particles. That is the harder of the choices, and we'll see what ends up happening with that. This tech world here does require a job, so that looks good. Do we have a holding here? We do. Okay, so I do want to put in a... Where are we? A research lab. There we go. That'll do the trick. Anything else that needs to happen here? Well, not currently is the answer, but the Salty Squid, of course, does need to be building a hyper relay. So let's get going on that immediately. So that looks good. We are still also working on getting these bastions queued up here. We've got all of our defense platforms in Pennick Station built, but a number of these are going to need a lot more defense platforms. And that's not shocking in the slightest. So we'll get a few of those going. That seems fine. I'm wondering if maybe we would be better off changing these to be hypothetically like this. And we would put in a kinetic battery here. And then, like, Ripper autocannons or even point defense on the station section over here. That would be an interesting thing to do. I mean, we've got that minimum range, so we would have a dead zone like this. But if we went for, hypothetically, point defense, the Guardian point defenses would go in here like this. We'd still have a dead zone. Okay. I don't think we're going to do this right now, but it's something that I'm thinking about doing. So that is fine for the moment. What do you got? -1 science chip? No. No, thank you. Okay, so that is all relatively fine, of course. We do need to queue up a bunch more defense platforms, but we're going to need more alloys to get all of that done. That is absolutely fine. I'm not too concerned about it. We'll get all of these bastions finished up eventually. And in the meantime, of course, we are still working on putting alloys into our hyper relay network, so that is fine. Plasma cannons are now done, so that seems good. What else are we interested in here? Not a lot absolutely fantastic here. I guess we'll take proton launchers. That seems reasonably fine. Okay, the eradication of the Shard Anathema. Fantastic. So that's going to be 46,000 unity, as well as authoritarian ethics attraction, menial drone output. I don't think we have any menial drones, and worker pops. So that sounds great. The ISS Wave Skimmer 2 is currently idle, and we need to send that over to Phemisto, where we're going to build yet another hyper relay. That looks wonderful. We're now making 5.21 influence per month. I'm very pleased with that. That looks great. And of course, Federation Association offer. Sure. That seems relatively fine as well. We do have this colony here, and there's currently, wasteland radiation. It's a tomb world anyway, so it's going to be kind of suspect to begin with. We probably do want to put in an astrometeorology observatory eventually, and we may as well also put in a storm attraction center and a storm summoning theater. As far as a storm relief center, I don't think we're going to need that here. I don't think that's going to be a base production, so that seems absolutely fine. We're full on food, and we're going to sell that off, of course. We're up to 32k right now, 34k on energy credits. We cap at 70. So that's not that big of a concern. 2 merchant pops, yes. We will definitely exchange some energy credits for pops. That is amazing. We're up to 845 pops right now, and that looks wonderful. Of course, we're not going to be integrating them into Nimbus, but 847 now. Cool. Any other jobs that need to happen now that we've gotten ourselves a couple of new pops coming in? Yes, and actually, this would make a very good agri-world. I feel like we don't need agri-worlds, but it would make a good one. Well, let's get an observatory here. Attraction, relief, and summoning center. That'll be fine. We do need to get an upgrade on our planetary administration here. And the rest of that looks fine. But yeah, I feel like we don't need an agro world or a bioreactor, which would be the other option for that. Yeah, I'm not convinced that we need either of those. A free reprime is currently set up as an agro world, although this is not going to be that. We're probably going to have this be a refinery world. So we'll get that switched over. The Wave Skimmer 3 is idle. There are pirates in the Huntour system. Okay, we'll look for that in a moment. Now I want to head up to Aranis. That's fine. Where are these pirates? Oh, that's very easy to get to. Okay, we're going to send the Tsunami fleet down. No. No, this is not the path that you should go. You should go this way. You'll get there much faster. You're going to be on the hyperspace network. I'm not sure why this one is... That's very interesting. We have one in Spica, right? Yeah, we have a hyper relay out over here. Okay, I don't know why we're apparently not going to take it. We'll see what's going on with that. So, yes, we agree to this. This is my main bugbear right now with the way that storms work. Everything just paths so hard around it.
Research complete.
And I'm like, there's no reason to avoid this storm. Literally no reason. We're not going to be doing any emergency FTLs. It does not matter. So I don't know why they pass so hard around it. They really, really shouldn't. Especially when we are supposed to be surfing the waves, right? So our major capital buildings are producing 30% more resources from jobs. That's great. What else are we interested in here societally? There's a fair amount of things available. Fleet command limit is interesting. Claim influence cost is interesting. I mean, we're not actually going to be making claims. I don't plan on going to war, but this is fine. The Salty Squid 7 is currently idle, and we want to go head up into Kazabius. That is going to finish up this leg from Torfree Stark to Kazabius. So that is wonderful.
Spacebound science platform lost.
Yeah, that'll be over in Huntour, which is fully expected. So yeah, we did not go via the hyper relay. That's weird. I don't know why we didn't go via the hyper relay through Spica. I have to assume that has something to do with the Radiant Storm pathing. Bizarre. We'll see if we can figure it out on the way back. That's going to be interesting for sure. So we're spending about as much influence as we're making right now. We are keeping it fairly even, so that's not bad. We can definitely continue to make our way through these constructions. We're going to be done with them fairly soon here. This is not actually all that much more construction going on. So that looks great, and then after that we can start building megastructures or habitats or orbital rings. There's lots of things that we can build. So we have lots and lots and lots of expansion that we can do without growing our borders in the slightest. And that's fine. We are absolutely delighted by that. Do we have any jobs that need to happen here? The answer is, well, kind of. We need housing on Unoc Prime. And this is an agro world here. Yeah, that does make sense. So we need housing. That would mean a city district. And in fact, we should build 2. That'll unlock us 2 building slots and get us a whole lot of housing. So that seems wonderful. Okay, so we're going to be heading into Huntour momentarily here. And we will be eliminating these guys at this point.
Battle.
Cosmic alteration, yeah, that's fine. Okay, away goes the pirates. Cool. So now we'll head back home, and the question is, if we just order this, what route do we take? Yeah, that's a very strange route. So then we come this way, and you can see as we cross from Celia into Lem, we do not take this. And that was the same case with Spica, but once we were in the storm, it took the hyper relay. But it's not doing it here. Interesting. Well, for now, let's just go to the hyper relay over here in Celia. And let's see if we can force it. Or if there's some sort of a weird, like, does it break the hyper relay connection temporarily when there's a storm there? That would be a good thing to know if it does. We have an archaeological site pending here. We get a bunch of society research. Looks good. And we can also spend some astral threads, which I would be delighted to do. Did this go? It did. Okay. So we're sitting here in Celia, and from here, we would like to travel through the hyper relay, and we'd like to do it to Lem. So we're able to manually order this. Uh-huh. And if we tell them to do this, they're now going to go via the hyper relay. That's going to go via the hyper relay. That's not. Weird. That is bizarre. So I think it's the storm causing weird pathing issues here. I'm 99% sure that that's what we've got going on. So just going to wait for them to pop through this hyper relay, which will happen momentarily. Wait, what? Oh, it went to the star. Right. Okay, so we're going to travel through hyper relay. This is going to go to Spica. And then we're going to go through the hyper relay again to Radar Central. Like that. So we can manually order it like this. But that's insane that we have to do that. So I really hope Paradox fixes that. That is not great. No doubt about that. That's not my favorite thing in the world. I'm not going to lie. Well, any jobs that we need to do for now? Nope. But the ISS Wave Skimmer 2 does need an order. And we have to go to Tiriok here because this is fewer jumps to get to Kunides than it would be out this way. So this is definitely the way to go. But that means we have to be really, really, really careful with ordering movements around storms. And most of that's going to have to be manually done. Awkward. Okay, well, the Tsunami Fleet is idle in Radar Central, and this makes sense because it was manually ordered to go through the hyper relay. It was not ordered to go to the station here. So let's have it come on over to the station. Looks good. Okay, so we've got the crew quarters, Erasian Naval Yards, Fleet Academy. That all seems correct. And then the idea behind this would be the Titan Assembly Yards, which we're a long ways away from getting Titans. So that seems fine. Ready. The Wave Skimmer 3 is idling in Aranis right now. We want to head to Matar, and that is indeed exactly what we're going to do. Let's sell off a few minerals here, something like that. And what's the price like? Ooh, that's a high price. I do not want to buy alloys at this price, since we don't have to. Looks like somebody just sold some. Okay. We're definitely interested in watching that price drop, but people are buying at the same time, so that's definitely a bit of an issue. Our council agenda is ready. Let's launch our agenda. And then what else are we interested in here? Specialist pop resource output, probably? That seems pretty good. So we'll do that for now, and the Salty Squid 7 is idle in Kazabius. We want to head over to Nietz next, but we are currently lacking 1 influence here. Now we have it. I don't think it accepted that order. Okay, build that hyper relay. We had an autosave interrupt us there. So that is absolutely fine. What's less fine, of course, is these storms disrupting our order pathing. It's very strange what it's doing. So it paths really hard around them, but also when you force it to go through, sometimes it doesn't pass through the hyper relay and just jumps normally. I don't know how to reproduce that at this point, but at this point we've proven it definitely happens.
Handshake protocols
so that's
activated.
Intriguing. At least there's a color differential so we can see when it happens. These guys want to do a migration treaty. We're going to have to decline that. We need our influence. So that is unfortunate, but we definitely need the influence. So we're going to be finishing up some of these routes fairly soon. In fact, all of them are going to be finishing up fairly soon. So that seems great. We're not going to build anything other than these few routes, though. This will be fine. We don't need anything more than that. So that all looks good. We don't have any mega structures to work on at this time. We can, however, put some resources into our defense platforms, and we're definitely happy with doing that. So let's get a few of these guys going. This is now maxed out. Perfect. And then over here in Voldop, we definitely want to build a few more of these. Okay. The Hyran Pious Nation has leveraged their council powers to declare the Resolution Guardian Angels Act an emergency measure. Okay, so Guardian Angels Act, huh? Diplomatic weight from fleet power, defense army morale, and army upkeep. We're fine with this, actually. We kind of support it. Okay, so that seems wonderful. Yes, this is a ruined world. That's fine. So at this point, we need to be building up our alloys and building up our defense stations. Our defense stations are very strong right now, particularly along the XT-49 assemblers border. Like, 114k is going to be very tough for them to break through. And we can upgrade them further, eventually.
Council agenda
For now, we have
available.
2.8k minor artifacts, and that is not enough. Well, we just got 10 more. That's something, anyway. Yeah, this can go away. There we go. Perfect. So that all looks relatively good at this time. Now, the Wave Skimmer 2 has finished up in Tiriak. We need to head up into Kunides. And then from there, we're of course going to go to Ival, Hiscus, Durelian, Sau, and then probably Olbers, because that would connect here and here. That would likely be the way to go there. After we're done with that, the next available construction ship should come up to Huntor and grab these 3 physics research again. That's something we'll want to do, but it's not, strictly speaking, necessary right now. We're going to have the Wave Skimmer 3 finishing up in Matar very soon. I'm going to queue up the next hyper relay in Markaz
Research
right now.
complete.
So that seems fine. And the Phase Disruptor research is now completed. So we should probably go for something along the lines of the advanced cloaking fields. It'll take 11 months, but I'm not too concerned about that. So the Salty Squid 7 is going to be finishing up in Nietz eventually. It might be idling a little bit to get the influence to build in Abdrade, but we'll get it started moving over to Abdrade at least. Cool. So that all looks fine. We need to go to Abdrade, Ebenar, and then the idea would be Moscot, Pennick, Niza Taram, Aras, Saradin, and then we would be done over here. Saradin is actually already done. So that looks good. The Muller Nox have awakened psionic abilities. Okay. And we have a gravity storm that we detected. Sure. That seems absolutely fine. Of course, this radiant storm is going to go away eventually. Ah, Muller Nox refugees. Cool. So that means we get more pops. And Eolum currently requires some housing. So that's an interesting conundrum for us, right? Because we could definitely build a city district. That would get us a building slot. And we are going to need a building slot. But upgrading the planetary administration to a planetary capital is going to do the trick there. We can see that we are currently at 24. We're going to need to be at 25. So one more pop coming in here. I think we're just going to put in an industrial district. But we're still going to be net negative on housing here. Although devastation is reducing our housing by 12%. That's the core issue there. Okay, so the devastation will eventually go away. And that problem will cease to exist. This is set up as a mining world, and that does actually make a lot of sense. So we could certainly consider putting in a mineral purification plant here and designating this as a mining world. There we go. And then we could also, of course, put in an astrometeorology observatory. We would want to put in a storm relief center and a storm attraction center and eventually a storm summoning theater, but we don't have the building slot for that right now. So that'll be fine. The Salty Squid 7 is idle in Abdrade, and we do have the influence now, so let's get that going. Cool. And we can, of course, queue up a few more of these defense platforms in Voldop. Excellent. What is the price on alloys right now? That is way lower. I'm going to buy 2,500. I'm not going to buy another 2,500. I'm just going to buy that chunk for now. That was a reasonable price for alloys. So that will allow us to get another roughly 5 defense platforms queued up here, which is, of course, a good thing. Migration treaty, huh? I would love to. We can't. We simply cannot do that right now. Okay, we found an electric storm. Where is this? Oh, way out over there. We don't care about that. That seems fine. Cool. So we are building up our defense platforms considerably, of course, and these will not stop a truly determined attacker, but they will certainly slow them down enough for our forces to show up, which our forces are not tremendously strong at this point. We're still very much in the scaling up category. We have a lot of scaling to do. So Kochab Prime, we can absolutely put in a planetary capital on. This is currently a mining world. We should definitely designate it as such. And we should probably just build out all of the mining districts here. Like that. That'll be fine. Cool. So that looks great for now. What else do we need? Well, this tech world requires a job, but it's a ruler job that it needs. Well, that's awkward. I'm just going to upgrade this research complex, and the ruler will eventually demote in 400 days. So that seems fine. The Crystal Rift is becoming a thing. We're trying to seal the doorway. Sure.
Research complete.
Okay, what else do we have through here? Not a whole lot, but we did just finish up advanced cloaking field generators. That sounds great. And we could grab next. I mean, the cheapest ones here are starting to get pretty expensive. It's like these encryptions. Sure. Galactic campaigns will finish soon as well. The ISS Wave Skimmer 2 is now done in Kunites, and we're going to head down to Evol. That looks wonderful. And the Wave Skimmer 3 is the next one that's going to finish. So that, of course, means that we need to head down to Weed Baril. We don't have enough for that quite yet. And
Research
we probably
complete.
want to go up and get this gateway connected up in Ajam. That would be a small detour. And then there's a shroud tunnel down here. And, of course, a wormhole here that's unexplored as of right now. Do we have the capability of exploring wormholes? We do. And we should do that. Okay. Once we have a science ship that is available, we will do that. And that'll probably be the Clever Clam. Okay, we got a Nema finished. Perfect. That is always a good thing. And we're going to head down to Weed Baril and build a hyper relay right here. We finished up a research here, and that's a society research. Right. Military academies. Yes, please. That sounds great. Your call was important to us. Ah, yes. We are calling the help desk of a service AI. This is an accurate depiction of calling a help desk. 100%. They are perhaps the least helpful thing. Amazing. Well, anything to do jobs-wise. We're definitely starting to see a slowdown of pop growth, and that's normal in Stellaris. That was an attempt to make the end game less laggy. I don't know that it was a successful one, but it was definitely an attempt that was made. We can continue to work up our defense platforms in Voldop for now. But very soon, we're going to be done building our transit networks, and that is incredibly good. We're very, very happy about that. Salty Squid 7 is going to be done in Abdrade very soon, and Ebenar is absolutely the next position for that. And it looks like we just need to start moving here. We need 1 month tick. And then we'll be able to build this hyper relay. So that looks good. Right about now. Okay, let's get that done. Now, it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, I think we can maybe not quite finish up these transit networks, but it's going to be very, very close. No doubt about that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy Magar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Hero Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.